Hey, it's Lisa Rothman, the founder of StopFamilyConflict.com. Today, I want to share a strategy that I've seen help people get out of stuck conflicts quite rapidly and in general can result in more efficient conflict resolution. And it is to assess whether the reason someone isn't doing something is because they can't do it or because they won't do it. And this has come up recently in two occasions, and I want to show you how this plays out. And if we're focused on if it's one and not the other, how you can end up spinning your wheels. And both stories I'm sharing with the permission of the people who shared them with me and who I was supporting in these areas. So one arose at a conflict repair cafe, and the situation was that the woman was incredibly frustrated with her partner. She called him stubborn. There were serious decisions that needed to be made related to the death of a relative. And he was not available to make these decisions, and it was all on her. And so she had a story. She believed that he was being stubborn. So she was like, it's that he won't do things. Now, from what she described to me, it was pretty clear to me that it wasn't a won't, it was a can't. He couldn't do things because he was frozen in grief. And I asked her, do you think that's the case? And she paused and she thought, and she's like, yes, it's that he is frozen in grief. So what she had been doing by feeling so frustrated and he's stubborn, it's like she kept going to the hardware store and trying to buy milk. And then there was no milk. And so this is impossible. So she's getting more and more frustrated. And he is helpless. He can't do anything because he just can't. He's frozen in grief. And she is not making the decisions because she's approaching it from why won't he do this? And it's not why won't he do this? It's why can't he do this? And from there, it's like, okay, well, he can't do it. So now we need to figure out a workaround and compensate that still holds everyone's needs with care. And so what she did was she got really clear about what would work for her. And then she told him what she wanted to do and why she wanted to do it. And she said, unless you have a strenuous objection, this is what I'm going to do. And so here's how it played out after we'd gotten done with that coaching session. So he called her 5 minutes before he knew she had something else going on. So this is clearly someone who does not want to be engaging with this issue. And she laid it out for him, and he got really, really upset. And she was clear. She's like, okay, this is where he's at. He's frozen in grief. He's having such a hard time. Right now, the only response he has is to lash out. I'm going to go to my engagement and we'll take it from there. And at least I've been clear with him about what works for me. And I think it was also because she was so clear about what would work for her and she made the proposal, she was feeling very empowered. This made it a lot easier for her to stay connected with him and not react as he was getting so upset. So she goes to her engagement, and then out of the blue, he calls her. It's like he's hardly ever initiating calls. But now he recently, because he's frozen in grief and feeling overwhelmed, but he calls her, and all of a sudden he's liking her proposals, he's accepting her proposal, he's expressing gratitude to her for everything that she's doing, regret that he can't do more. It was like she was dealing with a new person. And it was all because she let go of the story that he was just being stubborn and embraced the story that he was frozen in grief. And so why do we do this? Well, why do we sometimes think, okay, it's that this person, we have a tendency to be like, it's that this person won't do it when in fact they can't do it. And because it's like, I work with so many people, it's like they don't want to see that the person can't do it. And I think the reason is because if they actually take in what the person is capable of and not capable of, it's painful. And they realize that they're helpless to change the person. the person is the one that's going to need to make the change, and they right now can't do it. And so, and they need to feel the helplessness that what is happening here is just not happening for the other person, and there's nothing that they can do. They cannot convince the hardware store to start selling milk because it's not where the hardware store or this person, it's just not in their inventory right now. They just don't have it. And then they have to deal with all the grief that comes from. So much more preferable to believe, oh no, it's that this person won't do it and they're just being stubborn, and now I get to be angry and get my empowerment sort of that way through my righteous indignation. Okay, so that's the block. But once we realize, oh, this person just can't do it, and that's sad, and okay, how do I compensate? How do I problem solve? Well, this is what worked in this case. And then lo and behold, conflict, that particular conflict dissolved. So here's another example. I was working with a family, and their child, who has some kind of neurological something or other, was always in the living room listening, like watching television at a volume that was hard for everybody in the family except for him. And so they had all sorts of like, are you willing to turn it down? This had been going on for months, and everyone was just beside themselves. And he just kept with the volume so high. And so when we looked at, okay, it really actually seems like it is impossible for him to be with the television at a volume that's lower. And it also seems impossible. He can't stretch to accommodate your needs in this. Because he's not doing it. This does not seem to be willingness. He loves you, but he just doesn't have it in him. He can't do this. And so then that opened up all sorts of new possibilities. Okay, what are some workarounds? And so we tried, okay, headphones? No, the problem with the headphones was he likes then talking to the television, and he's talking very loudly. Okay, so headphones aren't an option. Okay, so then I started to we were all like, because it was in a group, like, oh, and that's what's so great about being in a group. It's like you can all start like problem solving. It's like, okay, can the TV move into his room? And the parents said, oh no, because he really likes the sofa. I'm going to pause. Do you see what the solution was that we came up with? Are you ahead of me yet? Is there space? Is there space in his room for the sofa? So you could move the sofa and the TV into his room? Or could you get a love seat for him that he really likes, and then he's off in his room watching the television? I cannot tell you the lightness and the excitement that this family had at suddenly having a new possibility, something new to try. And all because they reframed from, oh, this is actually impossible, we need to problem solve, as opposed to, this is something that we could try to work and figure it out. Maybe this person could stretch or change in some way. They let go of him needing to change his preference for the volume. They let go of their own need to change the preference for the volume because they weren't budging either. It was too loud for them. And instead, okay, let's just have you go have a nice comfy sofa and go away into your room, and we're going to have, the peace and quiet in here in the living room. Oh. So, the next time you're feeling frustrated with someone, ask yourself, is this that they can't do it or that they won't do it? And if you'd like to do this in a group, because it's really great to do it in a group, I invite you to come to a conflict repair cafe. And the details about that are in the description of this video. All right, bye for now.